Though the set is not like a exam kind of a set, but it's good to build a reasoning skills. So there are 5 couples sitting in 10 chairs A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H in the following arrangement, such that each husband and wife sit adjacent to each other, and any 2 consecutive alphabet represents adjacent. So A, B are adjacent, B, C are adjacent, C, D, D, E are adjacent, and J and A are also adjacent. So husband and wife are going to sit in next to each other. Also, every woman is sitting opposite a man, and the opposite is the ones at the end of the dashed lines. Yeah, this all is explained over here. So if I look at the dashed line, we have 1 line over here, 2 line here, 3 line here, this is the 4th and this is the 5th line. So there are 5 lines over there, dashed lines, that represents the 5 opposites, and there are 5 couples. So opposite, there's man, women, man, women, man, women. Because opposite a man, there has to be a woman. Opposite a woman, there has to be a man. Okay. Now, if Mrs. Host was sitting to the left of, now this is a sort of a circular arrangement. So it's best to convert left and right into clockwise and anti-clockwise. That is what we'll learn in circular arrangement. The idea is it's easiest to start from south. If you're facing inwards, right is anti-clockwise and left is clockwise. So left refers to clockwise direction and right refers to anti-clockwise. You can mark this up for all places wherever they face inwards. And to left of Mr. Host, and Mrs. Host was the only woman who did not sit next to another woman. Then in which chair was Mrs. Host sitting? Try it out, students. There's nothing much here. The data is very easy to understand, right? So you could go methodically A, B, C, D. For example, if you would have started over here. So this is the place where Mrs. Host is sitting. Okay, so this is your assumption. So let's talk of Mrs. Host as wife 1. Then the moment you say wife 1, she is sitting who did not sit next to a woman. So both these have to be men. H represents men. But the moment you put them, how can man be opposite a man? Then you will not be able to fit in all those conditions. Yeah, there's no condition given about a man being opposite to a man. It just says every woman is sitting opposite to a man, but because there are 5 pair of opposites and there are 5 women, there have to be 5 men opposite them. Therefore, men and women have to be opposite each other. Husbands cannot be. So this cannot be the position. Now it's easy for me here to erase, but for you to keep checking each individually. For example, if this is the host, then a husband has to be clockwise to her. Okay, or rather she is clockwise to the husband, so the husband has to be here. Okay, you can check, right? Now one has a habit of putting oneself over there and seeing is this the left. Don't do that much. I've already said, right? Mrs. Host is clockwise to Mr. Host. Now, once you get this, you can go ahead and try to fill in the other ones, okay? The other data is she is not sitting next to any woman. So you could take another husband over here. Okay, so this is another husband. And if this is a husband, wife has to be next to him. So this is a wife. Okay, now you have a break. Don't say this is a husband, wife. You don't know, take help of the opposites. So let me continue this way itself. So if this is wife, this is a husband. Okay, this is a husband 3. And if this is husband 3, wife 3 could be here or here. If wife 3 is here, then this becomes a lone person without adjacent husband wife. So wife 3 has to be over here. Okay, so now this is a husband, so this has to be a wife. So wife 4, let's say. And if this is wife 4, this has to be husband 4 adjacent. Is the opposite? Is it matching up? Yeah, it's matching up. Great. Oh, the opposite to the husband has to be a woman, wife. So let's say the 5th opposite a wife has to be a husband 5. So this is one couple, this is another couple, this is a couple, this is, so everything looks good. So Mrs. Host could be at B, but hang on, the word is is the only woman who did not sit next to a woman. And whereas here you have this woman also satisfies the condition that she is not sitting next to a woman. So this also is not a possibility. Now like this you can keep trying, but as I said, it will require almost 10 iterations. Then the next thought of reasoning is, can I club certain chairs alike? Like for example, A and E can be very alike. If host is at E, then both these adjacent chairs are men, and then they'll be opposite each other, so that can't be that. But other than this A and E, you are not going to find similarities anywhere else. But these are 3 in a row. Nowhere else do you have 3 in a row. These are 2 in a row. You might say these are also 2 in a row, but they are not really identical, right? The opposites of them are adjacent. The opposites of G and F are not adjacent. So you're not going to be able to find enough similarities between chairs to reduce it. And thus, if one is very persistent and does 10 iterations, one can reach the answer. But the idea is, how do I reduce my tries? That is a reasoning bit that you should understand here. So the way out is, A would be a couple with either B or J. So that is 2 ways. Either B or J. So let me take A and B as a couple first. Now between A and B as a couple, it could either be husband-wife or wife-husband. So that's 2 into 2, 4 possibilities. That 4 possibilities should give me all possible sittings of husband-wife. So that is what I'm going to latch on to. So I don't want to erase it. I want to show you in real time how much work it might take. So I'm redrawing it. So what is it? I'm saying A and B. So A and B is a couple. Okay, my assumption. And then in that, let me start with the husband being here, the wife being here. Okay, and forget the host and Mr. and Mrs. host. Just look at the couples. So if wife is here, opposite has to be a man. Let's call him husband 2. His wife has to be adjacent. So this position will be wife 2. Opposite wife 2 will be a man. Let's say 3. His wife will be this one, wife 3. Opposite wife will be a husband. I've already said adjacent to a husband. Wife 4 will not be here because this will be then will not meet our conditions. It will be a lone person from a spouse without an adjacent. So this will be wife 4. Wife 4 opposite is a man, and adjacent is the wife, and this everything meets the condition. So it did not take us much time. Now in this, let us see a woman who did not sit next to a woman. So this is satisfying that condition. Okay, and this is also satisfying that condition. So this can't be my arrangement. So quickly move to the next one, and don't go ahead and change things drastically. How about these switching over? So if wife 1 comes here and husband 1, you are still at A and B being a couple. Okay, so husband 1, so let's continue here. So this will be a woman, let's say wife 2, husband 2 will come here, opposite will be a woman, let's say wife 3, husband 3 will come in here. Okay, opposite husband is a wife, wife 4, husband will come in here, and not here. Here will be a husband, the 5th husband and the 5th wife, and the opposite is there. So everything matches up, right? In fact, they have just switched their position. Okay, you could have even switched over here. Instead of redrawing, you could have switched over here. Now let's see. This woman is next to woman. Woman is next to woman. Great. W1, W2. W3 is the woman who satisfies sitting between 2 men without. Okay, but so does W4. W4 is also sitting with not to a woman adjacent. W5 is also meeting. So 3 women are here who are sitting. So this also cannot be my condition. So A and B cannot be a couple. That means A and J are a couple. Okay, so between A and J being a couple, again there are 2 cases, husband, wife, wife, husband. So let me start with husband, wife. Pay attention, students. Yeah, this. So let's take, you could go from year to year, or you could, but from year to year will be a little problem. Then, oh no, not as much. Okay, it's not as much as a problem. So even if I go here, this will be a woman, let's say woman 2. Now you might have a problem. Where does husband 2 come, here or here? Think one step forward. If husband 2 comes here, isn't this a single seat? Then without, this is a couple, this is a couple. So husband 2 can't come here. So husband 2 will come here. Yeah, go whichever way you want. So let me continue. If husband is here, this will be a woman, let's say woman 3. Her man has to be here, or else if husband 3 is here, this will be a lone seat. So this will be a husband 3. If husband 3 is here, this is wife 4, husband 4, wife 5, husband 5. Right? Is it opposite a man, woman? Yes. Let's check women who are not sitting next to a woman. Woman 1 is not sitting next to a man. Woman 2 is sitting next to a woman. Woman 3 is sitting next to, and so on. Right? So this is the only person who is not sitting next to a man. But then now the couple over here is this, student. This is the couple. And in this couple, do we have wife is anti-clockwise to the husband. Husband anti-clockwise. So this anti-clockwise means wife is sitting to the right of the husband. You can try putting the husband over there, look downwards, this hand is right. So this situation also will not meet my purpose. So obviously there's only one situation left, and I've kept that at the end, yeah, such that we can see the total time worst case scenario. So this is a couple, but just switch over. So this is wife 1, this is husband 1. Okay, now you could either go through the whole thing or just switch these things. Yeah, so they all switch positions, wife 4, husband 4. Okay, the 2 and these are not important. Yeah, 1, 2, the numbers aren't very important. Wife, this becomes husband 3, this becomes wife 3, this becomes husband 5, this becomes wife 5. Let me check. W1, H1 has shifted, H5 and W has shifted, 3 has shifted, the second couple has shifted, 4th. Is the opposites, one pair opposite? Yes. Second husband, man, woman, third man, woman, fourth man, woman, fifth man, woman. Everything is satisfying. Let's look at woman. One is sitting next to 5, so this is not. Woman 2 is sitting next to 3, 3 is sitting next to 2, 4 is the only woman who is not sitting next to another woman. 5 is sitting next to woman 1. So this one is the only thing, and interestingly here the pair is such that the wife is actually clockwise with her husband. Yeah, this is the husband. So this clockwise is left. So this is the only arrangement which meets our condition. That means wife is sitting at this position. So if I erase this and come back to what was it? It is I. So Mrs. Host is sitting in seat number I.